Hey there, planters and growers. This is Rachel with Everyone Can Grow. I'm going to talk about the little planting area in the kitchen today. This has some of my more tender plants and plants that have been wrought with mealybugs for a long time. So they're in here recovering. And I want to show you some of the damage that you can expect to see from the treatments for mealybugs, as well as go over some of the nice things about it. So let's have a look and see what we can get into today. Alright, so this first plant is Crassula ovata. It is the common jade tree or jade plant. This one I got from a single leaf when I worked at a little place called Garden Raised Bounty in Olympia, Washington. They're a wonderful little place that works on solving food and environmental problems by teaching high school students over a summer program. And they also had a veterans garden called their Victory Farm. And although I won't go into the details of it all, that was the program I was working with. And they're just wonderful people and wonderful everything. And Victory Farm wasn't doing well when I was there, but it's back up and running, so that's great. So let's talk about this beautiful jade plant that I got. Jade's a cool one because you could take any of these leaves and it will grow you an entire tree. This one's about 6 or 7 now. I'd have to look up the date, its birth date or its plant date for me. If you remember another little tiny video I just made the other day where I picked a leaf off to show you how to choose a leaf for propagation. Well, if you notice, it'll have a little U shape like that. That's because I got it all the way up against the meristematic tissue, which the meristem is this is the stem. This is a leaf scar. If I can get the light on it just right, you'll be able to see it. And you can see here a new bud of a new leaf coming out. But what you want to do is get all of this tissue right around here, where you see that scar at. And that's where your meristematic tissue is going to be. That's where the plant's going to regrow itself from that leaf. So there you go there. And you'll notice a lot of scarring on this plant. This poor little thing has been through hell and high water. This scar here, these dark marks underneath the leaf. So if you ever are looking at one at a store and you see a mark like this on a leaf, this is from neem oil. This was from a neem oil treatment I did for mealybugs. I swear it did more damage to the plant than it did to the mealybugs. I have found now that just a quarter cup of soap per gallon of water sprayed liberally on the plant, left for 20 minutes, and then rinsed off really well, say in the shower, that's gotten rid of my mealybugs, and I've gotten way less damage. Now this is from overwatering and a little bit of that kind of damage because I had to do the treatment so much that the pot got super soaked, which is why it no longer has like the rocks on top of it. I like to leave rocks for decoration, but they also insulate your pot so it doesn't dry out as quickly. If you look on the bottoms of these leaves, let's see if I can get it in there, you'll notice more scarring and dark marks. That pitting and scarring is from both treatments, the neem oil and the soap treatment. This one's a neem oil, the brown like this, but these little spots, that's from soap too. Both of them did that. I think it's just too tender on the underside of these leaves for the treatment, which is a darn shame because this thing is so beautiful. And you know what? It's going to come back, and it's going to come back stronger than ever because, you know, sometimes when you get sick, the treatment can hurt, but then you get better overall. And that's exactly what happened with these guys. All these scarring on the insides of these petioles, same thing. It's just from being treated so often for mealybugs. But thankfully, they seem to be completely gone at this point. I haven't seen a sign of them in months. I'm hoping that they stay gone this time. And if you notice right here, this is an example of a leaf that did not come off correctly and will not. The leaf is actually down here, where you can see it doesn't quite have that same meristematic tissue. This one is not going to propagate most likely, but I've got a when in doubt. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I know it can. When in doubt, propagate anyway. So, until it dries up. Look at all that damage. That poor thing. Good Lord. Well, you know what? It's all a part of getting better. This is another one. This one's definitely not going to prop, but you know me. I'm going to try everything anyway. You can see how the ends of it look, where it doesn't have that U-shape meristematic tissue like this one. You can see that nice U-shape. That means this one's gonna prop for sure. Even though it's got all these scarring on it, the new babies won't. And this side is the underside of the leaf. That's where the stoma or stomata are. And I'm guessing what happened is that soap got into the stomata and caused problems for the cells surrounding it and killed some of the stomata. That's what I'm thinking that's going to be from. Make sure you put it, you know, right side up on the soil. You don't need to water the soil for this to work. The leaf will take care of the rest. And you'll have your own trees, or 100 trees. This is a Triostarst Romance. Same kind of overwatering from being treated so much. I've removed most of the brown leaves, so I can't really show you much, but this is the type of damage that I saw from the neem oil and from the soap. This poor baby, you can see some of the leaves have gone almost completely translucent. This is just damage from being treated. But now they're finally getting better. I'll see some nice new growth, and given patience and some love, this thing will come right back with no trouble. This is supposed to be completely purple underneath. You can see how much damage there is. It's really sad, but you know, you got to get the mealybugs out. You cannot allow mealybugs in at all. If you ever see mealybug sign, you have to treat it and treat it once a week with soapy water. Do the 20 minutes, rinse it. Next week, do the same thing. Do it for at least 4 consecutive weeks, regardless of whether or not you're seeing mealybugs, because the nymphs are itty bitty. They're tiny, they're brown, they blend in. The adults are fluffy and white and adorable, but don't trust their cute little faces. Just kill them. This one actually doesn't have any mealybugs at all. This is my sister's aloe. It's a bully. These spikies were actually causing some damage to this guy, so I moved it to where, instead of being on this side where these leaves can cut into it, it's on this side. You can see with aloe that they just keep pupping with all these little babies. Over and over, no matter how much you keep cutting them back. And this is really cool, and I wanted to show this to you if I can get a good view of it with the light. Oh, where's a good leaf? Here we go. I don't know if this is going to be easy to show, but do you see this browning on the tips? This is a tan. My aloe vera, or this aloe vera, my sister's aloe vera, is getting a suntan. So if your aloe vera turns brown like this, where it won't just be on the tips, it'll go all the way down. The entire plant can turn this brown. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just fine. Just get it, back it off from the light. I recently switched the light in here to this massive Hydroplanet 8-tube 2-foot T5 installment, so it's just getting way too much light over here. And if you ever notice these bars in my videos, that's actually, you're seeing the tubes, the light tubes. When I get under the lights, it's a little worse than when I back up. And if I get close enough, they do kind of fade away a little bit, but I'm not sure how I'm going to fix that. This right here is one of my experiments. You can see how dry this gets. I cannot keep this moss moist. This is a type of speaker foam. I can't remember the name of it. This was a experiment to see if I could epiphytically grow these. You can see how failing it is. It's kind of okay, and then it kind of fails, and then it's okay again. So I'm not sure if it's just I need to water it more often, not watering it enough. Sometimes I see bright yellow leaves. Well, we'll just keep studying it. Eventually I'll have it figured out, and I'll tell you more about it as I go along. But that's what that is. That's an experiment. Here's hoping I figure it out soon. And then there's just another little aloe over here. Because, you know, you're always, you never have too much aloe. When you get one, you get a million. The last 2 plants we're going to talk about is my, oh my, what is this? My bonsai. We'll just call it a bonsai for now. I'm sorry, darling. I know your name, but I can't think of it. And my African violet. Sometimes, you know, my mind just doesn't want to work for me. These also had mealybugs. That's why they're in the kitchen. These were in the windowsill right there, but I moved them a little forward so we could look at them. Every time I use a soap treatment on this guy, it just sheds all of its leaves. They're just very tender plants. But you can see that the leaves grow back really well. This is after 2 treatments, so it still has 2 more to go. This one's done with its treatments, but I'm still leaving it out here just because this one's really hard to get into because of the African violet. And also, when you're doing these types of treatments, always make sure if you see a dead leaf or any kind of dead plant material, check it out. Cut it, pull it, get rid of it. Don't let it be in there. I don't even remember which color this one was. I think it was my pink. Oh, which would be so sad. Might be the purple one, though. It hasn't flowered in so long because of the mealybugs. But you can see with this one, the treatment doesn't do anything to it. Like, look at it. I mean, it's got a few dead leaves on the bottom here, but I can't really attribute that to the treatment. Like with the other ones, you have all that scarring and pitting and issues. This one, I'm just not seeing it. Same exact treatment, same exact everything. Well, this is just a broken leaf. That happens. When you're constantly moving your plants like I am, you break leaves. You know, plants, they're just not the kinds of things that like to move. You got to be able to keep them still. So, assuming you can't keep them still, you know, don't worry too much about it, but just understand the consequences and understand what you're going to have to deal with if you're always moving your plants around. Like the different conditions in different rooms can cause problems. Humidity difference, temperature difference, light difference, all that makes a difference to a plant. I know. That's a lot of differences, huh? Oh boy, just look at that mess. Well, we'll fix that up eventually. You can see it's already flowering again. It loves to flower. I cannot remember the name of it. Oh well. I know so many plants and I forget just as many. No. This is a Fukien tea bonsai. Ha ha! Remembered you. Ah, I looked it up. I lied. I totally looked it up. This is a Japanese Fukien tea bonsai. I think they're Japanese. Gosh, I might not even look that up. Sounds Japanese. Oh well. See? But you know what? Don't get down on yourself if you can't remember the name of a plant. Don't get down on yourself if your plants get injured or if something bad happens. Like this baby lost every leaf on it. I wish I'd taken a video or a picture for you then, just so I could tell you, you know what? Mistakes are going to happen. You're learning. I'm learning. It's just how it goes. So it's okay if things go wrong. You just got to be able to recover from them, understand the mistake you made so that you can do better next time. Just keep trying, keep growing. Don't give up and don't get discouraged just because something happens. Like, look at my jade tree. If I got discouraged because of those scars, I could chuck the whole thing. But you know what? It's still alive and it's still going strong. I might do some trimming on it to encourage new growth, or I could just let it be. And you know what? It's going to recover. It will be okay. Sometimes things just take a while. So keep that in mind with your plants and in your life. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with what's going on around you. It'll all even out in the end. Believe me, bad things don't last forever. Good things don't last forever. It's good either way. You'll make it. Well, that's all I'm going to mess with you for today. So y'all take care. Bye-bye.